Hello, ladies. Welcome back.
Oh, welcome back to Real Chill Conversations.
Real Chill Conversations.
Yes.
All right, ladies. Well, tonight we have another great topic we're going to discuss. Um, it's a really close topic to my heart because I am a woman and we are women on this show and we are mothers, and some of us maybe one day would like to be mothers. So we're going to discuss the Roy versus Wade overturned tonight. Um, I don't know if a lot of you know that the Roy versus Wade was actually established in 1973. It was a landmark decision for the U.S. Supreme Court in which the courts ruled that um, the Constitution of the United States can protect the liberty to choose to have an abortion. So basically, as women, we have the choice if we decide to keep our children or not keep our children. If a woman is like raped, if she decides to keep the child or not keep the child, if our teenage daughter gets pregnant, or if one of our kids gets somebody pregnant, we can make that choice. Now, with the overturn, we cannot make that choice now. So I wanted to get you guys, opinion on it tonight, and let's have a great discussion about this. But first, I want you guys to take a look at this clip that we have, so we can discuss it afterwards. Brenda, if you
Play
please,
it.
thank you, please.
Oh, we have to mute.
The Supreme Court's landmark ruling on abortion, the battle has moved to the state legislatures, and they're now rushing to enact laws and take the issue to the lower courts. ABC's Faith Abube has more.
Tonight, legal whiplash in Texas, with nearly all abortions banned once again in the state. The state Supreme Court blocking a lower court ruling just days ago that had allowed some abortions to go forward.
Honestly, I think it makes women second-class citizens.
The decision reviving a nearly 100-year-old Texas law. Attorney General Ken Paxton, who appealed the case to the state's highest court, tweeting, quote, "I'll keep winning for Texas's unborn babies."
My body, my choice.
The legal battle over abortion now playing out in the state after the U.S. Supreme Court struck down Roe v. Wade. Overnight, the Ohio Supreme Court upholding the state's 6-week abortion ban. Since the federal right to an abortion was overturned just over a week ago, at least 12 states have stopped nearly all abortion services. And while some applaud the moves, on Friday, President Biden warning that the state bans are only just the beginning.
We either elect federal senators and representatives who will codify Roe, or Republicans who will elect the House and Senate who will try to ban abortions nationwide.
The president urging voters to make their voices heard at the polls this November. A majority of Americans support some reproductive rights. A recent Gallup poll finding only 13% of Americans back a total abortion ban. Overnight, New York's legislature taking the first step to enshrine the right to an abortion into the state constitution.
With respect to the Dobbs decision, it was the biggest setback for women's rights in modern history.
Wow. Thank you, Brenna, for sharing that with us.
The ability to get an abortion is among the biggest cases facing the Supreme Court this year, and many on both sides believe this could.
Thank you, Brenna, for sharing that with us. Now, like I was saying before, since this has been overturned, it's based on state by state. And we live in Georgia, and Georgia is one of those states that are on the list that is banning abortions. And I'm going to say this. I'm not for abortions, but your choice is your choice. Every situation is different. I can't tell you what to do with your body as a woman, but I do feel every woman should have that choice, at least if they want to have an abortion or if they want to keep their child. But it's deeper than that now. Other than having abortion, it's about birth control as well. Now we can't get certain birth control. Um, so I just want to get your guys' intake on what's going on. So I can start with you, Brenna. What do you think about this whole situation, Roe versus Wade situation that's going on?
I wasn't the one who.
Sorry,
like,
Edwina, I'm
created
trying
this
to mute
law.
this
I'm
video
not the one
that's
who
still
created this
playing over you
movement.
talking. I apologize.
Oh, no, it's okay. It's okay.
I'm sorry. I can jump in real
Yeah,
quick.
go ahead, Dominique. Just give me your, we're just having a nice discussion about this.
I did do my research because, of course, I've been so busy that this flew over my head.
Mm-hmm.
But I did read that now that is overruled, so now states can come in and ban abortion.
Mm-hmm.
It also opens up to banning homosexuality.
Yes, and
because
their marriage license, of course, as well. I heard.
Right, because it was. I don't think people too much understand. Long time ago, the Supreme Court created the right of privacy.
Yes.
So basically, as I'm understanding, that right has been overthrown.
Yes, that was the
so
right.
That means they get to go in your bedroom now.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. But you're right, Dominique. It's been overturned, and I was thinking the other day. I was like, why don't men have something like that? Why are we not making men stop having babies? They're so worried about women. What about men? You know, men can get what, vasectomy, whatever that thing is called. They can get that, right? Get snipped. Why are they not worried about us? You see?
Yeah, and it's like it's kind of so yeah, I mean, you're right, but this also means that abortions are no longer constitutional protected.
Exactly.
But what I'm wondering is, what are they gonna do about the pills? You know, like the stuff that you take. Everybody takes something different. Every woman does. But I'm just saying, what they gonna do about that? Like the birth control pill.
I don't know if it's true.
The IUD.
For going online to buy their pills now because they're not going to hand them out no more. And then I heard, I don't know if this is true, that if you do have an abortion or a miscarriage, you will have to. It's going to hold up in court. Like,
yeah, you're going to be prosecuted.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's scary.
It's very scary because what if you have a miscarriage and it's not your fault? And I can tell you from being married, I had two, and it wasn't my fault. It's just that the child wasn't developing right. So I wouldn't want to go to jail over something that's definitely not my fault.
But see, I'm glad you mentioned that because it's some women that don't want to go through with the pregnancy if they find out something is wrong with the child.
Exactly.
So what are they going to do now?
Now they're going to be forced to go through with it.
That's sad.
Yeah, they don't have a choice. And what about the women who don't have kids yet? Natalie, you want to shine on this?
I didn't realize everything had gone into effect so quickly. Like, I know they passed the law, but it's like, boom, the next business day, it's like, no more. So it's like, what about people that had it already scheduled? You know, it's like.
The woman on the news said that she had to call them back and tell them look in another state.
And what were you saying about the marriage licenses?
Yeah, they were saying that if you're in a same-sex marriage, that you can lose your marriage license. They're not going to consider that as marriage anymore.
Yes, this goes like
it goes way back.
Top of just abortion.
Mm-hmm. This is more than just an abortion. It's a lot of stuff added into it.
I'm pretty sure it's more stuff coming, y'all.
The marriage thing was the Marriage Act of 1949. So it dates back to that, and then digging into not allowing same-sex marriages and a slew of other things that they're taking away now that they've seen that they've gotten some movement with the Roe versus Wade Supreme Court decision being overturned. So it's a lot. It's a lot. Sorry about the audio, y'all.
No, you're fine. No, we're just having a conversation about this, how like this is shocking. You know, you just don't know. 1 minute we have a law in place, and next minute it's gone, you know? And it just reminds me of like how back in the day when women had no rights, it's like now we're in 2022 and we still have no rights, you know? And it's like the men, it's okay for them to do whatever they want to do. Nobody's not judging them about their body or what they can do or how many kids they have. You see what I mean? Like they're worrying about women in our bodies.
Nobody is policing the men and telling them that they have to take this birth control pill or they need to get this medical procedure to prevent them from having children. But yet that's something that they do with women, especially with women that are in areas that are impoverished or in a poverty type situation. They encourage them to have their tubes tied. They encourage them to get devices implanted into them, IUDs, Depo-Provera shots, and all kinds of things in order to control the birth of children. But you don't find them doing that to men, even men that are living in areas of poverty and not able to sustain a family. You don't see them pushing that agenda onto men and onto their bodies. It's just women, and they throw men a bunch of condoms and say, here, use these and practice safe sex.
Which they don't use.
Which they don't use.
And 13 states so far will ban, right?
Yes.
Already on the list for banning. 13 more that can make them stricter. And then you have the ones who, you know, don't want to ban it. So now we're going to have more traveling going on as far as women having to travel to another state to get an abortion. But I also heard that this can be a prosecution.
Yes, it can. It depends on what state you reside in. But
you can be prosecuted for enabling or helping someone to travel to a state that does allow for abortions if you reside in a state that does not. You can be prosecuted for leaving your state to go have an abortion in a state that does allow abortions. If your state falls under the quote unquote 6-week, the heartbeat bill, which is when they state is when a heartbeat is first felt, you cannot have an abortion after that 6-week time period has ended. I mean, there's so much that they've added to this, and they've changed, and they've made it so that, you know, people are now in fear. And we are looking at the Underground Railroad of people being able to have safe and healthy abortions like they did back in the 60s and the early 70s. There were literally groups of women and medical doctors and nurses and nurse practitioners that were helping women safely have abortions so that they were not endangering their lives, and they were not dying by abortion, which was literally a thing. We're going to come right back to that, you know, in this state. And it, you know, with all of this happening and what's going on in the government and the government involvement, I just truly feel like no matter what your choice is, whatever your personal decision is on this matter, you should still give those the opportunity to make the decision that is best for their bodies. I thought that was the whole point of living in the United States and living in America, is that you have the power to make decisions for a life that is best for you.
Ain't that the truth?
That's true, Brenna. You know, I was watching a TikTok, and a woman was saying, oh, if you're mad about the decision of it being overturned, don't have sex. And then she made a comment, most of you guys are not married anyways. Now, you can be married and find out your child has a disability. And you have to make that choice if you feel comfortable, if you're strong enough to raise a child like that. First, financially, because it's not easy at all. And if it's going to affect you and your husband, if y'all can sit here and go through it together. Okay. Like I stated before, I don't believe in abortions, but some married people, they do make that choice not to have a child that has problems. And you can't just sit there and call them cruel or mean. They know what they can handle. And I'm going to be honest too. Some women, they don't need to be mothers. So by them pushing
Say
you
it
to
again.
have babies, this is not a good turnaround. This is not a good look, because there was a woman here in Georgia, and she had two beautiful kids, and she was not fit to be a mother, of course, and she put her two kids in the oven. So we're going to have more cases like that and more stories like that, where parents are hurting their kids or parents are killing their kids because you're forcing somebody to do something that they don't want to do. And it's sad. And can you imagine what foster care is going to look like? You see?
It's already an overwhelmed and an overcrowded system that
Exactly.
tends to be failing the children more than it tends to be helping them. When you think about the placement and the overcrowding, and people are just in it for that extra check, and they're not really doing it for the best interest of the children. And then there's so many cases of abuse and things like that go on in foster care. I also wanted to say that there are married people that have made the decision, even without medical reasons being present, to not move forward with their pregnancy. And that's their decision as husband and wife. They've had that conversation and they've made a decision that they're not going to move forward with their pregnancy. And that's their right, or at least it was their right, until this Roe versus Wade decision was overturned last week.
Brenda, I want to piggy off what you just said about the 6 weeks.
Yes.
To be 6 weeks. Okay, so I was reading that the first trimester was protected. Well, it's not anymore.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that 6 weeks go away.
Yeah, it's gone. Yeah. So yeah. Which is crazy, because you really find out you're pregnant around 7 weeks. Like when you go to the doctor after being sick, after you think you're having the flu and you're dying, you're like 7, 8 weeks pregnant. You're past the
that's it. You no longer have that right.
No, you don't have that right.
Mm-hmm.
So now they're gonna know.
I was pregnant. I was like 8, 9 weeks. Didn't think of it. I thought I had the flu. You see?
I was 9 weeks along the first time that I found out I was pregnant. The second time I found out I was pregnant, I was almost 10 weeks.
See, you never. Well, I'm not gonna say you never. For our situations, we didn't find out till we were past 6 weeks, where it was already a heartbeat.
There was already a heartbeat. It was already visible on ultrasound, and it was already documented the estimated time in which they thought I was, based on them doing that magical formula of when was your last cycle, how big is the baby, what size are we looking at, and all of that, and then trying to figure out what your due date is. And I just can't imagine, trying to slip into that 6-week window thinking that you've got this cover. If you think you're late, if you think you're missing, you got to find out in an instant. And then you need to go ahead and you need to make your appointment. But what if that appointment involves you having to travel out of state because the state that you're in doesn't allow for you to have termination at the time that you're at? So the clock is already ticking, and you're already up against it if you're in the mindset that this is a decision that you're looking to make. And there's so much that has to go into it, especially if it's something that's not available to you in the state in which you live in. You've got to travel, you've got to make arrangements. I mean, there's a lot I don't think that was thought about when they just decided to overturn this bill and say we're now protecting the rights of whites. And that was a misspoke. I read that, all that quote that's been floating around here, we're now protecting the rights of whites. They're saying that person misspoke when they said that. They were saying that we're now protecting the rights, but the rights of whites. I mean, if you go back into conspiracy theories and things like that and talk about this and get into it a little bit deeper, you hear that people have been slowly but surely trying to eradicate the abortions because they don't want to lose on the building up of the Caucasian race.
You're right. You're right, Brenna. That's so true. And if you guys, well, you probably don't need to, but if you have been to the store, you actually look for a Plan B. They're not on the shelves no more
No.
because everybody's taking the Plan
So
B.
what, they just gonna let the kids starve because they're trying to let, you know what I'm saying, if more kids come to life, but we don't even see no formula on the shelves.
Right.
Yeah.
Not
No
everybody can
formula,
breastfeed.
no Plan Bs. We're barely seeing food on the shelf.
Not everybody can breastfeed, so that
Yeah.
formula is crucial. And some children have disorders where they have to have formula. They have to have a certain formulation because of different things that they have, reflux and different digestive disorders, or they're born prematurely and they require that nasal tube with formula going down to sustain that baby's life. So how are we going to keep this going and we can't keep formula on the shelves? Yeah, you're right about that.
That's so.
I'll tell. Oh, go ahead, Natalie.
Yeah, I was saying, Natalie, you want to say something? Natalie?
Hey y'all, I'm here. I had walked away from the phone. Um, I was gonna say I'm glad y'all brought it up because I was seeing a lot of people say that it was a deeper meaning behind it. I don't want to say, like you said, conspiracy theorists. I don't feel like it's a conspiracy theory. It makes sense to me what the purpose would be and the agenda in that case. But it's just, I feel like everybody should have a choice. Like y'all said, I completely agree. Everybody should get to have that choice. And the fact that, it's just so much to be said on the topic. I'm trying to be careful with what I say.
I know.
But some people in power have been there for so long. I feel like they're still operating off of rules and regulations that are dated. They don't necessarily apply to now, to society, how it has moved. Regardless of how you're trying to make it, you have to work with what we have now, and that is just it's just not gonna work like this. It's sad.
Yeah.
It's not, Natalie,
Yeah.
and I'm glad you said that because I'm actually afraid that this is gonna cause violence.
And it opens the doors for so much, for
Yep.
so many other things, from violence,
It does.
crime rate. People gonna be looking for them Plan Bs or who
Okay.
knows what can. It's just so
Yeah.
much can
Yeah.
happen from it, and it's just opening the floodgates to major problems.
It is, Natalie. And I was gonna say it's sad because, as mothers already, say for instance if Dominique or Brenda decides to have another child. I'm just saying this. And, you know, the doctor says, okay, we have to make a choice between either Brenda surviving or the baby, or Dominique surviving or the baby. Now, since it's been overturned, it's not going to be a Brenna. It's not going to be a Dominique. They're going to do everything they can in their powers to keep the baby alive, which is, to me, personal opinion, it'll be dumb because they already have kids at home that they have to be here for. You see what I mean? It's like you're taking a mother away already from 2 kids, or a mother away from 5 kids just to save a baby's life. You're taking a mother and a wife away. So to me, that doesn't make any sense. I understand, you should save the baby, but what about my life? My life doesn't matter. You see? What about Dominique's life? Her life doesn't matter. What about Brenda's life? Her life doesn't matter. What about Natalie's life? Her life doesn't matter.
I have my own personal opinion about abortion. I mean, do I agree with it 100%? No, I don't. But I do believe that people do it. Most people do it for a reason. So you have kids that get molested, raped,
Yes.
um, that may need that by fathers, and it just the craziest
Uncles.
thing can happen.
Yes, exactly.
So now they don't have that choice. You see what I'm saying? So and then you have people that may have already a lot of kids and they may not want to bring more kids into the world at this time. So they make those type of decisions. I still think it's up to the person, and the person should be able to decide over their own personal lives. Like now they're into our lives, basically.
Of course, you can't even get a menstrual cycle tracking app on your phone no more because they're gonna track that. It's and I keep those apps because I like to know when I'm going to start, when I'm going to finish. We can't even do that no more.
You better go back to writing it down in your little calendar.
Oh man,
I be
and I like the app because it'll beam me. It'll beam me like, oh, today is coming on. I'm like, okay, I know.
Y'all, this is so big. Like, this is big, and it's gonna be
major.
Big. I don't think abortion is the end.
It's not. This is the beginning. They started with something, and I don't even think that they thought that it was going to be overturned. I do believe that they felt like, okay, we're going to fight for this. We're going to try to push this forward as best we can, but I don't think they expected the outcome that they got. And that's why there was all this rejoicing and all these happy Republicans and different party groups and rightist people and all of this that were so excited about the fact that look what we did. We overturned a Supreme Court decision that's 40-something years old. For 40-something years, the right for a woman to get an abortion and to make decisions over her reproductive health have been in her hands. And now that's been taken away from her.
And
politics, Brenda.
How long?
Politics.
It's been a long time.
Yes.
You know how much society has changed.
Yep. For us to go back. This is politics because you can't tell me Biden didn't know nothing about this because after all this happened, he said, "Oh, well, go to the polls and vote in November." Why? So we can vote for you again? Are you crazy? This is politics. Like, no.
But don't forget, this is the Republican Party, right?
Yes.
But why do we have Democrats then in the House?
Let me tell you, Dominique, we ain't stupid. The Democrats know exactly what the Republicans are doing. They have a hand in it somewhere.
Hey, tell me about me.
Politics,
I told you
money, all that plays a part together. We're the ones in the back just looking stupid, trying to figure out what's going on in the world today with, like you said, no formula, no food, gas is going high. This is all together.
The food is running low. The gas is going up.
Okay. And then all of a sudden you're going to tell me I have to keep a child. Come on now. This is all politics and money.
This is like apocalyptic level type survival out here. With what y'all are talking about.
Listen to this. COVID just disappeared. We're not talking about that no more.
How would it disappear?
I'm not making a joke because they don't talk about it no more.
It just got pushed to the side. Yeah. I just got notification about 2 hours ago. I have tests that I have scheduled to be done on Friday, and it's like I have to have a vaccination card or I have to have a negative PCR test on file before I can come for my procedure. And it's like y'all are up in the protocols back up again. Now y'all are now not allowing visitors back in the hospitals. The hospitals have been full. The last 3 times that I've had to go to the hospital and I've been admitted, they've been full. They've been absolutely full. And it's like, what is going on?
Yeah.
What is going on at this point? What is happening? How are all these people sick? And it's like, because everybody back outside.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. Well, you sure don't hear about it over the news anymore. It's like it disappeared.
It sure did.
It's crazy how all these things seem connected, though.
Yeah.
You see, Natalie? You see?
And I'm happy that people are starting to open their eyes and not just go for the fuckery.
I love that.
I'm really happy that a lot of people are educating themselves and not just,
Yeah.
We gotta open our eyes here because it's too obvious at this point.
Exactly.
Lena was talking about this for so long, and Brenna.
Yeah.
Yeah. American women, we have to really do our research and step up and speak
and
on
ask
the truth.
questions.
And ask
We have to question when something don't seem right, like that sense that's in you makes you dive deeper, and you ask questions, and you want to get the answers to those questions, because you got to make it make sense. And this right here is not making any sense.
You. And it's like, especially with like African American women that have like fibroid issues, you're prone sometimes to have a miscarriage. You just, justify that, oh, I had a miscarriage because my fibroids. What, you're gonna prosecute me?
Yes.
Because of something I have?
Yep.
You see, that's just I hate to say it, it's dumb. I understand some people, they're not for abortions. I understand that. I come from a strict religion background where abortions, like, it's all the way, like, you're not getting an abortion, but you have to let this make sense. This doesn't make sense. It's not adding up. You see what I mean? 2 + 2 = 4. That adds up. This is not adding up to me at all.
The way they did it, which was taking away the right to privacy, that seems crazy to me.
It's sneaky.
Like, give me a real reason. Why are you taking our privacy away? That's why I say this opened more doors.
Yes.
To going into like gay sex, or like anything
it's about too
behind closed doors. They're in there.
Yeah. And I'm gonna say this, Dominique. This is just the first step. The next step, they're gonna reverse gay people getting married.
Yep, they are. That I can believe.
Off their insurance. It's steps to it. You see what I mean? So this is just the beginning. Sit back, watch and see the end results. And then it's gonna be so much violence. It's gonna be so much crime, and it's gonna be so many women committing suicide because they're gonna have to keep a child if they got molested or raped, and they have to look at their child every day if they don't want to. You see, it's because they have to be forced to keep it. Watch. You'll see. It's going to be a big turnaround.
Again, to me, it's just your rights. Like, you are your own boss of your own body.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what gets me.
Yeah.
Like, whatever you want to do, whether other people feel like it's right or wrong, who are you to tell somebody what they can do with their body?
Yeah. Now they can. We have no more rights. So we have no more rights.
So where does the freedom come in?
And and the privacy, like, where you are entitled to live a private life. There's enough information that you already have about me being quote unquote in the system. Once I was assigned a social security card, once I started working, once I started paying taxes, once I started doing all these other things, you send me a jury duty summons to my house based on the address that I registered to vote at. So I'm in the system. You have a way to track my information. But you already knew that I had how many children I had when I showed up for jury duty. Like, there's information that's not private. Our right to privacy has just, boom, it's just disappeared.
Brenna, that's why we're in the system, because they own us.
Yeah.
By the way, the Georgia Guidestones were blown up at 4 a.m.
I know you told me that this morning. I was like, I can't believe it.
What is that?
The Georgia what is it, Edwina? The Georgia Guidestones, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy. But we don't even have rights over our kids. And I found that out recently. Like, if your child gets sick and you try to make a medical decision for your child, the state can overrule it.
Oh yeah, the doctors can intervene.
Doctors can like, no, we don't want that decision, and so we don't have rights over our own children.
Yeah, they can tell you that your choice is not in the best interest of your child, and then they can go to court and get a judge to sit over the case and allow the doctors to make medical decisions if they feel that you're not fit to make medical decisions on your child's behalf.
And that's a whole nother conversation on its own, because I have a lot to say about that. Like, you're going to tell me I cannot discipline my child, but my child can go to school and y'all can discipline?
Right.
Yeah.
No.
And discipline them? Or, you know what I'm saying? Like,
they can't even keep our kids safe in school.
Let me not go to that topic, because that's a whole another topic on its own.
Yeah. Well, ladies, does anybody else want to say anything? Because this has been a great topic for tonight.
No, I just, want to say keep your eyes open, keep your mind open, ask those questions, defy the okey doke. Don't just go along just to get along. I mean, if you got to be defiant, then you got to be defiant. If you got to say no, and that means that you get in a little bit of trouble because you stood up for yourself, then I'm all for that. I just do not believe that we are in the year 2022 and we are losing rights that we've worked years and years and years to have control over. And the fact that privacy is being eliminated, our rights are being stripped from us, and that's been taken away from us, to me is just absolutely ridiculous. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. And that's certainly not what I'm about. That's not what we're about on this podcast. So that's it for me for tonight.
You pretty much summed it up for me. Don't be afraid to ask those questions.
And the thought, I'm not having no more kids.
What was that? You kind of broke up for me, Dominic. Repeat it.
I'm not having any more kids.
I hear that.
I think all of us scared to have kids.
Yeah. I don't have any. I'm a little scared. Shit. I'm like, goodness, I got to make sure I'm in tip-top shape.
Natalie,
I got to hit the gym tonight.
Natalie, you're not going to have a choice now.
I know.
So you might as well get ready.
Overturn
that is very deep.
I dodged some bullets.
Very deep.
What you said, Edwina?
I said I'm so glad they didn't overturn this in my 20s because I dodged some bullets.
Let's watch unfold.
Yeah. Okay. Woo, Jesus. Good luck, Natalie.
Lord. Wrap it up.
I know. Look, but that doesn't work sometimes.
Are they gonna do away with condoms too, or what?
Who knows?
Who knows? Serious? I don't know. But like I said,
wild. I hope not, because HIV is real.
It is real.
Yeah. Well, not just that. There's other disease out there other than HIV. That's
the deadly one. That's why I mentioned it.
Yeah, well, they're all deadly. People need to, do their research and stay healthy and have safe sex.
Yes, but that's what I'm saying. What they're gonna do with the condoms? Are they going away too?
Right.
That's their excuse. Oh, you know what happens when you have sex? You could have a baby. So just don't have sex. It's like, these folks don't listen to that.
Normal.
Yeah, that's true.
It is supposed to be for reproduction, but a lot of people is doing it for pleasure. So
that's right.
True.
Come on. It's deep. It's definitely a deep conversation that must be had. Another one right here on Real Chill Conversations.
Of course. And that again.
Another one. We need that drop.
Hey,
another one.
Yeah.
Hit the button, D. Another one.
All right, lovely ladies. We're going to go ahead and end our show for tonight.
All right, y'all. Until next time.
Bye, ladies.
Bye.
Subscribe and follow.
Yes, subscribe and follow, guys.